What's up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the pod. I'm Lewis, as you probably know, and this is British English Pod, your go-to podcast in English with me speaking slowly, talking about different topics, explaining the vocabulary, and, well, providing you with, I hope, some interesting stuff to listen to practice and improve your English listening skills. Now, that's the introduction over with. Now I can breathe and chill out. And in this week's podcast, I'm going to do something similar to what I did last week. Last week, I answered 50 different conversation questions using phrasal verbs. And this week, I'm going to do the same, but instead of phrasal verbs, I'm going to be answering questions which include idioms, expressions. So, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. A nice expression. Get this show on the road is a descriptive way of saying to begin. The phrasal verb equivalent is to kick off, or get the show on the road is to begin, to get started. So, first things first, I'm going to share my screen. So if you are watching this either on Spotify or on YouTube, you should be able to see the questions as I answer them. And if you don't want to watch, that's fine. I'm going to read out all of the questions, so you don't really have to watch it. You can just listen. So question number 1. Are you a creature of habit, or do you enjoy change? A creature of habit is someone who likes routines, and they like to do things the same every week. And I think I am a creature of habit. Yeah. I like my routine. I like to know what I'm doing every single day, and I like to have this guarantee. It keeps me happy, it keeps me sane to the extent that if, for example, I'm on holiday for more than a week, it's not very relaxing anymore for me. For me, weekends are always relaxing because after 5 days working, you need a bit of time to yourself to chill out or relax. But a holiday after a week, I start to get a bit restless because I need structure in my life. So I am a bit of a creature of habit. I enjoy routine. What about you? Are you a creature of habit, or do you prefer a more spontaneous life? Let me know in the comments. Number 2. When was the last time you had to burn the midnight oil? To burn the midnight oil is a business expression which basically means to work in the night. Like to work a lot and work at night. So I never do this. I never work at night per se. I will teach late classes. 1 minute, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, it's coming. Phew. Sorry about that. You see, I'm recording this just as spring is in full flow. So I suffer from hay fever, which is an allergy to pollen. So I could have probably edited that out, but I don't really want to. So sorry. I sneezed because of my hay fever. Now, where was I? What was I talking about? I remember. I work until late because I teach classes until 8 o'clock, more or less. But after that point, I can't work at night. I can work during the day and in the morning, but not at night. So I never burn the midnight oil. I never work at night. I can't do it. I can't hack it. It's not for me at all. Now, number 3. Do you usually hit the sack early or stay up late? It depends on what you consider to be early or late, I suppose. But I think I hit the sack. I go to bed, I go to sleep relatively early. Because well, I like to be in bed at around 11. I don't know if you consider that to be early or not, but ideally, I'm in bed and straight to sleep at 11 o'clock. Because then if I'm waking up at 7 o'clock, that still gives me 8 hours sleep, which I think is enough. It's good. So I think I hit the sack early, but there are some people who will hit the sack much, much earlier. If you've got young children, for example, I imagine you go to bed at like 10, but correct me if I'm wrong. Number 4. What's something you do once in a blue moon? Once in a blue moon means very rarely, not very often. So one thing I do once in a blue moon is going to the cinema. I haven't been to the cinema in ages. I enjoy it, but to be honest, I prefer watching films at home where I can make my own snacks and I can look at my phone if I want to. And I prefer the personal space of my own flat and my own sofa. So something I do once in a blue moon is going to the cinema. Some people love it, other people not so much, but yeah, that's something I do once in a blue moon. Number 5. Have you ever had to bite the bullet and do something unpleasant? To bite the bullet is to do something that you don't want to do, basically. You have to do it, but you don't really want to do it. So, yeah, I've had to bite the bullet recently, and I bit the bullet in the past by having a call with a tax accountant. It feels like I'm always speaking about taxes on this podcast. Um, but hey, it's something we can't avoid. Everybody has to pay taxes. But I'm not very good at paperwork. I'm not very good at personal admin, and I need to be. So I wanted to clear up a few doubts and solve any problems that I had. So I had to bite the bullet and book a call with a tax accountant. It cost me a lot of money. Um, but I think it was necessary because I was lost. I didn't know what to do or how to continue. So, yeah, I bit the bullet. I called him. We had a chat, and he more or less fixed my problem. All right, that's the first section. Now, moving on to work and studies. Number 6. Have you ever been snowed under with work? To be snowed under is to be swamped, to be overwhelmed with work. And yeah, I've been snowed under with work before. In my last job, I was managing a team of teachers, creating a lot of content and teaching at the same time. And I was building up my personal brand at the same time as well. So combining all of these things. And then if one of the teachers was sick, I would have to take on more classes. So whenever this perfect storm happened, I was snowed under. And it was difficult to manage it and deal with all of these problems. So that's probably the last time I was snowed under. Nowadays, I'm also pretty snowed under, but I'm okay with it. I don't mind it because I'm my own boss. So if I do more work, then I see more benefits. So there is this relationship with work that has changed since leaving my old company. And now, if I do more work, I think I benefit more from this work that I'm putting in. Number 7. When was the last time someone, let me repeat that. When was the last time something at work or school got out of hand? To get out of hand is to become out of control. I don't know if something at work got out of hand. Yeah, I don't really know. I can't think of anything. I'm stumped. I don't know what to say. By the way, this is a good little thing that you can say. If, for example, you're having a conversation or a teacher is asking you these questions, like I do to my students, If you're not sure what to say because the question's a bit weird or random, you can say, I'm not sure. Let me think. Nothing comes to mind. Off the top of my head, I don't know what to say. And in this case, it's true. I can't think of anything that got out of hand at school or work, so I pass. Number 8. Do you usually go the extra mile in your work? Yes, I always go the extra mile. I always go above and beyond to achieve my goals. To go the extra mile, or to go above and beyond, both of them have the same meaning, and it means to do more than is required. So usually, well, maybe not always actually, but with some things, I try to go the extra mile with making content, for example, but I'm not really a perfectionist. And I think that being a perfectionist can actually be a bad thing because it can prevent you from actually doing things. What I mean is that if you're always striving for perfection, you'll be putting off this work and you won't finish something or post something, publish something because you want it to be perfect. And it's very difficult for something to be perfect. And what's perfect for you might not be perfect for someone else. So being a perfectionist, I think, is a bit of a negative thing. And I go the extra mile in terms of hours that I work, but I don't really go the extra mile if we're speaking about editing. So with this podcast and my other videos, I don't really enjoy editing as much as other skills that I have and need for my job. So I try to reduce the production value. And in this case, for this podcast, I don't edit anything really. So I don't go the extra mile when it comes to editing, but I do with generic work, let's say. All right. Hope you enjoyed the answer. Now, number 9. Have you ever felt like you were in over your head? And if you are in over your head, it's like you're lost or you're confused. I'm in over my head. It's like, I've I'm lost. I don't know what to do. And yes, I have felt like I was in over my head before, and it's usually with technical stuff. Making a website, um, making designs. These things don't really come naturally to me. The skills are not my strong suit. So I sometimes feel like I'm in over my head when I'm making this stuff because I think, is this good enough? Do I know what I'm doing? It's probably not good enough. So, yeah, that's what I'd say. With skills that I don't really know, sometimes I feel in over my head. Number 10. What do you do when you need to think on your feet? To think on your feet is to adapt or improvise or be very proactive when you are thinking. So you're doing something and then, okay, I need to adapt. I need to improvise. You are thinking on your feet. So if I need to think on my feet, nowadays I'll Google something or I'll ask ChatGPT so that can give me some motivation or inspiration. And yeah, I'll think, okay, what should I do? Where should I go? How should I do it? And if you ask yourself these questions, it can sometimes help to yeah, be more creative, I suppose, and think outside the box. But to think on your feet is like to improvise and think whilst you're doing something. The next section, social life and relationships. So, are you someone who wears their heart on their sleeve? Number 11. Are you someone who wears their heart on their sleeve? If you wear your heart on your sleeve, You are very emotional. You show your emotions very evidently, very obviously, very openly. And I don't know. I think it's the stereotype and it's normal for men uh, not to wear their heart on their sleeve. Because with guys, um, the way we were educated and the way we were brought up by society is that maybe we shouldn't cry and we shouldn't speak about how we feel and our emotions. And this is changing. I speak about how I feel very openly, but I don't show how I feel as openly. So I don't really wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm very good at hiding these things. I'm very good at covering these things up, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't really wear my heart on my sleeve. It's hard to know if I'm happy, sad, or another emotion. I conceal it very well. Now, number 12. Have you ever had a change of heart about someone? And this is a change of feeling or opinion. And yeah, for sure, I've had a change of heart about people. Um, Here, when I moved to Brussels, I started meeting lots of different people. And sometimes you might meet someone and think, oh, I hate that guy. They're so annoying. And then you might get to know that person, and then you'll have a change of heart and be like, okay, maybe I misjudged them. Maybe I judged a book by its cover. They're actually really nice. And I'm not going to name any names, but yeah, this has happened to me before when I've had a change of heart to maybe I didn't think I'd like someone, and then they grew on me. So I started to like them. I wonder about you. Have you ever had a change of heart about someone? Now, number 13, do you usually get on like a house on fire with new people? And to get on like a house on fire is to get along really well with someone. And I don't usually get on like a house on fire with new people because I can be a little bit shy and I don't open up with some people sometimes. Um, but I mentioned my neighbors here in Brussels in the last podcast. I'll mention them again because, yeah, when we met, we got on like a house on fire. We had plenty of things in common. So it was a success. Number 14. When was the last time you let your hair down? And to let your hair down is to relax or to forget any insecurities or inhibitions. If you're working in a corporate job, for example, and then you finish work, you literally let your hair down if you have long hair and you go to a concert, for example. This would be an example. And the last time I let my hair down was actually yesterday because yesterday was Wednesday, and I don't usually go out on a Wednesday, but it was really good weather, and I knew that today I didn't have any morning classes, so it didn't really matter if I had a few beers. So last night I let my hair down. I didn't stay out until very late, but I stayed out until 11 or 12. I have a slight hangover this morning and I let my hair down. I had a good time and I stopped worrying and I just, you know, chilled out, had some beers and had a chat with some good friends. I let my hair down. Number 15. Have you ever put your foot in your mouth during a conversation? Personally, I would rephrase this and I'd just say, have you ever put your foot in it? If you put your foot in it, it means that you say something that you probably shouldn't have said, or you make a little mistake. And yes, I have put my foot in it. I have put my foot in my mouth before because maybe my girlfriend will tell me something and she will say, Lewis, it's a secret. Shh, don't tell anyone. And then maybe I forget that she told me it was a secret. And when I'm speaking to someone else, I'm like, "Ah, did you hear about John and Emily? They broke up. I think Emily cheated on him." So I might say this, not realizing the impact that it could have. And yeah, I put my foot on it. Let me correct that. I put my foot in it. I put my foot in it. Yeah, it happens to everybody. It happens to the best of us. Now, next section, free time and hobbies. Number 16. What do you like to do to blow off steam? To blow off steam is very similar to let your hair down. It is to release stress. And what I like to do to blow off steam is lifting weights and running, because exercise is a great way of letting out these negative emotions. So what I do to blow off steam is work out, to be honest. Or at least that's what I try to do. Sometimes instead of working out, you might eat a whole cake. It depends on how I'm feeling, I suppose. Now, number 17. Have you picked up any hobbies on a whim? If you do something on a whim, it means like all of a sudden, without thinking about it, like it came out of nowhere. But no, I haven't picked up any hobbies on a whim because I don't have that many hobbies. Right now, my job is kind of my hobby, and football is a big hobby. Watching series and stuff like that is also a big hobby. But I don't have that many other hobbies. So I haven't picked up any hobbies on a whim because I don't have that many hobbies. It's a bit sad, isn't it? And number 18. What's a hobby you do just for kicks? If you do something just for kicks, it's like, why not? You do it because you want to, just because. And again, a hobby I do just for kicks, just for having fun, is, well, maybe drinking beer. You're going to think I'm an alcoholic, but I'm not, I promise. Everything is under control. But something I do just for kicks is have a beer with my friends. We do it just for fun. You know, why not? Eh? Why not? Now, number 19. Have you ever spent a day doing absolutely nothing but veg out? To veg out is like to be a vegetable, meaning not move. Stay lying down in bed or on the sofa. And yeah, I do this every single Sunday. It's brilliant. But maybe not the whole day. Usually in the morning, I get out, go for a walk, do different stuff. But then in the afternoon and all the evening, all I do is veg out. I don't do anything, really. I just lie down, like, and then get up to go to the bathroom, or I get up to go to grab some snacks or food. Maybe I'll cook, or maybe I'll order a takeaway. And I just veg out every single Sunday. And as a result, Sundays are my favorite day. Now, number 20. Do you enjoy window shopping, or is it just a waste of time? And window shopping is looking in the windows of shops, but not actually buying anything. And no, I don't enjoy window shopping because I don't enjoy shopping. So, just looking around in the city centre at the windows, what a waste of time. And it's stressful as well. I'm not into shopping. I'm not a fan. Not at all. So I don't enjoy window shopping. Do you, though? Do you like shopping? Do you like window shopping? I think it's a waste of time, but if you disagree, please let me know. I'd be happy to hear from you. All right, next section, travel and adventure. Number 21. Have you ever gone on a trip off the beaten path. Off the beaten path or off the beaten track means in places that are less well known or less touristy. And usually, to be honest, when I go on a holiday or when I go on a trip, I go to places that are fairly well known. Yeah, I guess a trip that I have done, which was off the beaten path, was back in Argentina when I lived there for 6 months. I went with an Irish friend to Ushuaia. And Ushuaia is, for those of you who don't know, basically the most southern point on Earth, excluding Antarctica. But it's right at the tip, at the bottom of the continent of South America. And we went on a long trip by bus, sleeping on the bus from Buenos Aires all the way to Ushuaia to see the penguins and also to see the different nature and landscapes. And it was beautiful. I'd recommend going if you live around the area or if you ever go to Argentina. And this was off the beaten path because there are very few people who visit this place. Of course, there are travelers and tourists, but not very many at all. And that was a trip I took off the beaten path. Number 22. What's your idea of a once in a lifetime holiday? It only happens once. My idea of a once in a lifetime holiday would be to go to Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Let's say somewhere in Africa, because I've been to Morocco. I went to Marrakesh, but I've never been to sub-Saharan Africa. And I'd love to go to Kenya, for example. I'd love to go to a safari and see all these exotic and interesting wild animals. It'd be amazing to see a gazelle, a rhinoceros, an elephant, a lion. All of these animals are so exotic for Europeans because we don't really have them except in zoos, which I'm not a big fan of zoos, to be honest. So going on a safari in Kenya, for example, this would be a once in a lifetime holiday for sure. Now, number 23. Have you ever had a bumpy ride while traveling? If something is bumpy, it's turbulent. And I have. I had a terrible flight. In fact, when I went to Marrakesh, and I was flying only from Seville to Marrakesh, so it's only like an hour. It was so short. But we got up, and then when we were flying and crossing the Strait of Gibraltar, and we were flying over maybe the desert, and it seemed like there was some kind of sandstorm. Because when I was looking out the window, everything was just like brown and orangey, and it was really bumpy. The plane was going up and down. I was looking at my girlfriend, being like, oh my God, are we going to die? Is this the end? So I was fearing for my life. But it was okay. In the end, we landed. I survived. We had a good time. It was a bumpy ride, but it was okay. And the return flight was nice and smooth. What a relief. Number 24. Do you usually play it by ear when traveling or plan everything? To play it by ear is to improvise and go with the flow, really. And yeah, I like playing it by ear when traveling. I don't really like to feel like I'm planning everything with a specific itinerary. I like to be able to mix it up and improvise, go with the flow and play it by ear because you never know how you're going to feel on one specific day. You might wake up and be like, I don't really want to do this. I would prefer to do that. So that's the advantage of playing it by ear. So I like playing it by ear when I'm traveling. And number 25, have you ever been in a situation where you had to go with the flow? Absolutely. I usually live by this mantra in terms of social plans. I just want to go with the flow. Why do we need to organize it now? Why do we need to commit to it now? Let's just go with the flow. Take it easy. Go with the flow, you know? And yeah, I'm in this situation a lot. But strangely, with work, I don't go with the flow. Um, I like to be organized with work, but in social terms, eh, I prefer to go with the flow, you know? Okay, next section related to emotions and feelings. Number 26. What kind of things drive you up the wall? To drive someone up the wall is to make them go crazy, to go cuckoo. And things that drive me up the wall are, I mentioned slow walkers last week, so I'm not going to repeat that. But other things that drive me up the wall are what drives me up the wall? Not a lot. I'm pretty chilled, as you might have gathered by now. But some things that drive me up the wall. I've got it. Bingo. Slow Wi Fi. So, slow walkers and slow Wi Fi. If I have slow Wi Fi, I have nothing. If I'm in a class and it's buffering and I can't hear what the other person is saying, this drives me up the wall. Or if I disconnect from the class because my Wi Fi is so bad, it drives me up the wall. Number 27. Have you ever been on cloud nine? And why? Yeah. To be on cloud nine is to be over the moon, to be really, really happy. And I've been on cloud nine. Um, yeah, whenever I'm, you know, having good food, if I'm at a restaurant and I've ordered food and the waiter or waitress brings out my dish and it looks delicious, and I grab my fork or spoon and start eating it. Oh, and if it tastes good, oof, then I am on cloud nine. And whenever I'm in a bar in Spain having tapas and I see all of these different dishes coming, it's amazing. I feel on cloud nine. I am over the moon completely. Food is happiness. Now, number 28, similar to number 26, to be honest. What's something that really gets under your skin? Again, if something gets under your skin, it annoys you. It makes you angry. So, slow walkers, slow Wi Fi, and another thing that might get under my skin is, well, if somebody tells me to do something that I don't want to do or I don't see any reason to do, this can get under my skin. It pisses me off because I don't like being told what to do. I want to make decisions because I want to make the decision. And I want to do something because it's my choice to do it. And number 29 is again similar. All of these are related to being angry, basically. Number 29 is how do you react when someone rubs you the wrong way? To rub someone the wrong way is to basically, again, make angry or frustrated or annoyed. And not many people rub me the wrong way, but if they're making nasty comments at things that I'm saying, this will rub me the wrong way. But the way I react is very nonchalant, very chilled, very easygoing. Because if you rub me the wrong way, I'll probably just ignore you. I'm not going to start a fight with you. I'm not going to argue with you. I'll just be like, well, if that's how you want to behave, if that's the kind of person you are, I have no interest in continuing this conversation. So if someone rubs me the wrong way, I just ignore them and move on. And number 30, this one's slightly different. Do you ever get cold feet before a big event? And to get cold feet is when you're going to do something and then you start panicking, or you're nervous, or you're anxious, and you don't do what you were gonna do. So sometimes I'll get cold feet and I'll think, oh, why am I doing this? Oh, I shouldn't have signed up for this. Ah. But I think I usually follow through. And if I've signed up, I honor my commitment and I do it, even if I don't want to do it. Because, yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. So I might be about to get cold feet, and then I'll think about it, and my core, my heart, my brain, whatever it is, will say, Lewis, just get it over and done with. Just get it over and done with. Do it. It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen, right? Of course. Okay, moving on from emotions and feelings to success and challenges. So, question number 31. What's something you've done that was a blessing in disguise? A blessing in disguise is something that appeared to be bad, but in the end, it was good. So, something I've done that was a blessing in disguise is, um, I suppose the pandemic is an example. The pandemic and being forced to work remotely was a bit of a blessing in disguise because I was teaching in person. I had to travel from different offices or cafes or homes to go from one class to another. So the pandemic seemed like it was going to be terrible, and it was terrible. But for me personally, and for my industry, I think it was a blessing in disguise because it forced us to be more creative and go online. And I think that was a game changer and a big change for good, I think. Now, number 32. Have you ever had to face the music for something? And to face the music is to face or confront the problem, the situation, or the consequences. Now, have I ever had to face the music for something? Well, I suppose making mistakes. So, as a content creator, it's inevitable that I'm going to make mistakes when I'm speaking or explaining something. And sometimes it happens. And it's not nice. You feel a bit embarrassed. You feel like you've made a fool out of yourself. But I think all you have to do is own up, admit that you made the mistake, reassure people that you're not going to make a mistake again, even though it's going to happen for sure, and just face the music and say, sorry, I said this when I should have said this. My apologies. Now you know the reason why I said it, and I'm sorry. I'm facing the music. It is what it is, you know? Number 33. Do you believe in pulling yourself together when life gets tough? This expression is usually used when somebody is panicking or sad or they're not being themselves, and you'll grab them and say, come on, pull yourself together, which is like, sort yourself out. Come on, you can do this. And I believe, yeah, when life gets tough, you have to rise to the occasion. You have to adapt, think on your feet, and pull yourself together. Come on, you can do this. Pull yourself together, man. Number 34. Have you ever taken a risk that paid off? All right. I have recently changed my existing group classes to the British English Immersion Club, and this is a bit of a risk, or it was a bit of a risk, because I didn't know if people would sign up or not. I didn't know if people would register or not. But it seems to be paying off because people have registered, and it was a big decision in my case, but it seems like it's a risk that is paying off, that it is returning a successful outcome. Let's hope it continues that way. Fingers crossed. At number 35, have you ever had to learn something the hard way? If you learn something the hard way, well, it's pretty literal. You learn something by experience of making mistakes or doing something wrong or having a bad experience, really. So, have I had to learn something the hard way? Uh, uh, well, I could say that I learned to always wear a helmet when I'm cycling the hard way because I fell off my bike when I was a kid and I wasn't wearing a helmet, and I almost banged my head, and that could have been really, really, really dangerous. Luckily, I didn't bang my head, but I scratched my arm and I got a little bit injured, but it was nothing major. And that taught me that I always need to wear a helmet because you never know when you might fall off your bike. And if you do fall off your bike, it can be really dangerous. And if you bang your head, it could be critical. So this is something that I learned the hard way. Next section, money and spending. Number 36. Are you more of a big spender or a penny pincher? To be a big spender is someone who spends a lot of money. And if you are a penny pincher, you pinch the pennies. You kind of steal them. So it's a stingy person, a tight-fisted person. And yeah, I think I'm more of a penny pincher than a big spender. I don't really like spending a lot of money. I don't know why. I'm just stingy. Maybe I got it from my mum and dad. I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely more of a penny pincher than a big spender. I hate the feeling of spending a lot of money. I'm like, oh no, why did I spend all of that money? What a waste. I'm not that stingy, I promise. But just a little bit. Un petit peu. Un poquito. Un po. Un poco. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a penny pincher, I must admit. Now, number 37. Have you ever made a spur of the moment purchase? And if you do something in the spur of the moment, it's like without thinking. You do it just out of nowhere. And have I made a spur of the moment purchase? Yeah, for presents. Because I'm terrible at thinking what to get my parents, sister, or girlfriend for their birthdays or for Christmas. So I'll think about it and then sometimes make a spur of the moment purchase and think, okay, I need a present. It's my girlfriend's birthday tomorrow. And then I'll think, okay, concerts, festivals. So for my girlfriend's birthday this year, I got her a festival ticket because I had no idea what to get. And I prefer to buy experience rather than actual things. So I made a spur of the moment purchase by getting her a festival ticket and for me as well. So we're going together to a festival in Belgium. It's called Rockwertchen and it's a rock festival. So we're going in July. It'll be a good time, I hope. And I made this spur of the moment purchase the day before her birthday because I didn't know what to get her. Luckily, she doesn't listen to this, so she's not going to find out that it was a last minute purchase, but it was. All right, number 38. When do you think it's worth breaking the bank? To break the bank is to spend loads of money. And the only time I think maybe it's worth breaking the bank is when you are investing. So if you want to get on the property ladder and buy a house, then you need to break the bank. You need to spend a lot of money. But at least with your mortgage, it's probably going to be a wise investment in the long run because then that is your asset and you can sell it in the future. So if you've got to break the bank, make sure you do it by buying something that you can sell again in the future. An investment. Number 39. What's something you bought that cost an arm and a leg? Cost loads of money, basically. If something costs an arm and a leg, it costs a lot. And something that I bought that cost an arm and a leg is, well, my phone and my laptop. Because I like Apple. Maybe it's a bit of a rip-off and I shouldn't buy Apple stuff, but I have a MacBook and I have a new iPhone and they cost an arm and a leg. They're so expensive, but I think they're necessary. Maybe I could get cheaper, but I use them for work so much. So again, I consider it an investment. Now, number 40. Have you ever tried to live on a shoestring budget? If you live on a shoestring budget, you live very cheaply, very economically. And yeah, I have. When I was at uni, I didn't have a lot of money, so I lived on a shoestring budget. I had a part-time job to help me get by, but I didn't really have a lot of money to spend. So if we were going out, maybe we'd meet in a park and have some drinks there instead of going to a bar because it was cheaper. And I didn't really buy anything for myself, but that hasn't changed that much. I don't like buying stuff. But yeah, when I was at uni, I lived on a shoestring budget. Now, next section. It's all related to opinions and preferences. So, number 41. Do you tend to sit on the fence when making decisions? And if you sit on the fence, you are in the middle. You're not choosing one side or the other. And sometimes I do this. I do sit on the fence because I might not have a clear opinion, or I can see the benefits of one thing and another thing. So I can be quite diplomatic. And I'm like, on the one hand, these are the benefits. And on the other hand, these are the drawbacks. So I might sit on the fence and say, that's good, but that's good as well. You know, pizza's delicious, but pasta is amazing as well. I'm sitting on the fence. Number 42. What's something you're sick and tired of hearing about? If you're sick and tired, you're fed up. So I'm sick and tired of hearing about. What am I sick and tired of hearing about? Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing about wars and conflicts around the world because it's so unnecessary. I think of the people in Ukraine and in Gaza as well and in other places. And I'm sick and tired of seeing this because it's horrible and it should end. There should be no conflict in the world. We should all, you know, make love, not war. Why don't we all just get along? This is my appeal. Please, guys, stop fighting. Stop the cruelty. I'm sick and tired of it. Why can't we all just unite and see that we're all human beings and we should be more humane and support each other, love each other, and make love, not war? Hopefully, it'll happen this year. I wish. Number 43. Do you ever find yourself jumping to conclusions? And if you jump to conclusions, you reach an opinion without maybe all the information. You have an opinion very, very quickly. And sometimes I do find myself jumping to conclusions because it's normal, I think. It's natural. that when you receive information and somebody tells you something, you already think, okay, what's my opinion on this? And you can jump to conclusions before you have the whole picture, before you have all of the information. So yeah, sometimes I do jump to conclusions. Number 44. When was the last time you had to eat your words? If you eat your words, you say something and then realize later you were wrong. So, the last time I had to eat my words was probably maybe having a chat or a bit of a discussion with maybe my dad, and I'd say, "Dad, you're wrong. That's not the case." And then I'd check on my phone and be like, "Ah, actually, you were right. I was wrong. Sorry. I'm eating my words." So I have to eat my words sometimes when I'm discussing something with my dad, because I might say something and then realize later that actually I was wrong. I had to eat my words. Now, number 45. Do you prefer to get straight to the point or be more diplomatic? To get straight to the point or to cut to the chase is to be direct. And yeah, I prefer to get straight to the point. If I'm having a meeting with someone, what's the point in wasting time? We have organized to meet for a reason, so let's discuss that reason. Yeah, for business and stuff like that, I want to get straight to the point. Don't waste my time. What do you want? How can I help? Let's make it happen. Let's get straight to the point. Let's cut to the chase. And the final 5 questions related to future plans and dreams. Number 46. Have you ever chased a dream that seemed like a long shot? It seemed very, very improbable, very unlikely. And, I don't know. I wanted to be a footballer when I was growing up. That was my dream. And then I thought, I'm probably not good enough to be a footballer, but maybe I can work in football. So I thought I'd be like a physiotherapist for a football club. But I didn't chase this dream because I thought that it was unlikely or it might not happen. And nowadays, I do actually teach a former Premier League manager. I won't tell you the name. Um, and I've been teaching him for a few years. Whenever he's out of work, then I will teach him some classes to maintain his English level. So I'm kind of working in football as a teacher, which is pretty cool. But it's just one client. And this seemed like a long shot. If I had thought that I would be teaching a former Premier League manager, I'd be like, keep dreaming, Lewis. There's no chance of that. That is a long shot. Now, number 47. What's something you're doing now to get the ball rolling on your goals? Well, something I'm doing right now is recording this podcast to get the ball rolling and start achieving my goals. Because the more podcasts I make and the more consistent I am, the better, in my opinion. I want you to know that every Friday there will be a podcast. That gives you this habit that maybe you can associate listening to my podcast every Friday or every Saturday or every Sunday, maybe, when you're doing something else. So this is something that I'm doing at the moment to get the ball rolling and achieve my dreams. Let's hope it happens. And talking about dreams, number 48, what does your dream job look like? And are you on the right track? My dream job, as I mentioned, was to be a footballer. That was never going to happen. So I'm definitely not on the right track with that. But in a more realistic sense, my dream and dream job is just to be in control of my life and be my own boss. And in that regard, I am on the right track. I'm doing well, I think. I hope I continue on the right track, in the right direction. Number 49. Do you like to take the plunge when it comes to change? And to take the plunge is also to jump in at the deep end, and it's to do something even if you're not really prepared for it. And I don't really like to take the plunge. If I'm going to make a big decision or a big change, I want to be well informed of what's going to happen. Sometimes there is not the right moment to make a big change, but I think you need to have all of the information and you need to prepare yourself if you're going to make a big change. Because if you don't prepare yourself, then sometimes what might happen is that it will fail and you won't do well. So I think you should be prepared and you shouldn't take the plunge without having all of the information, really. That's what I'd say. And number 50, what's something that's still up in the air in your life right now? And if something is up in the air, it's uncertain. And something that is up in the air is, I suppose, if I have children or not, if I start a family. I don't know if it will happen. I would like it to happen, but I'm not actively doing anything about it. But in the next few years, I would like to start a family, or at least try to start a family, because you never know what could happen. Maybe I'm infertile. It could happen. So this is up in the air. It's uncertain. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We will see. Let's see what happens. Good. All right. That's it, guys. Whoa. 50 different conversation questions, each including an expression, an idiom. As you can see, some of these questions, they're hard to respond to. But I was making up some answers and, above all, explaining the expressions so you know them and you can think about answering the questions at the same time. Because it's good practice when you're listening this to think, okay, what would I say? How would I put it? Because answering conversation questions is a good little technique to practice your English. So thank you so much for watching once again. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, give it a like, add a comment, share it with someone who might find it useful. And I appreciate your support so much. So thanks once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ra! Bye! See you later!